Hi friends, welcome back. It is officially September, so I am fully in my pumpkin spice season mode. I've got my warm cozy drink and I'm excited to tell you about 10 books I read this summer. Today I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my absolutely must read. Some of these books are controversial, well anticipated, and a couple definitely need to be on your fall TBR. So grab a cozy, maybe even pumpkin shaped drink and let's get into it. Okay. Number 10, and this may not surprise you because I did a reading vlog on it, was The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. It was such a good back cover of the book. It had me wondering what happened to this little girl who went missing, like so many key, exciting elements. And it just didn't hit. The book was not about a cold case, it was about a coming of age, family kind of trope, but also it was way not enough pages for the amount of themes covered. Also, like, the narrative just didn't pull me in. I was like 150 pages in before I even started getting like interested in the concept of the story at all. I definitely wouldn't have even finished it if it hadn't been a book club pick. So unfortunately, we're ranking it at number 10. Number 9 is The Sirens. This was also a book club read. This is not one I would have picked out on my own. It's not a romance, but it's definitely like, I'd say a girl book. Very intriguing. So it was our August pick for book club, which was actually so perfect because it's a little bit like haunting and mysterious, but also sirens, you've got that mermaid summer vibe. A lot of people really like this book, so I feel like this is a more controversial take, but I didn't. I'm not going to spoil anything about it for you, but the narrative was incredible. So just like as far as like wanting to keep turning pages, I was instantly drawn in, interested in the novel from the first chapter, which is so nice, especially because like that's my least favorite part of reading, is getting interested in the narrative in the book. So what can you do? But also it has such an alluring, haunting mystery aspect, so I feel like it's the perfect transition from summer to fall. So I loved that about like the seasonality of it, which was really fun. The plot didn't make sense. I completely disagreed with the main characters. I didn't like the way it ended. I had so many issues. I'm gonna put a spoiler in right here. And if you wanna skip past it, just go ahead and skip to this timestamp. But, okay. So the whole thing ends and she murdered him and now she's a murderer and the police were gonna come and get him anyway? Like, what is the point in that if it's about justice or whatever? Oh, so many thoughts. I went off at book club with this one. Number 8 is The Thursday Murder Club, and I was disappointed in this one because I had anticipated this read so much. From the very first time I saw this book at a bookstore, I was like, I want to read this book. I'm so curious. I love the premise. The premise of The Thursday Murder Club is that it's an old folks community and they solve murders together. They've always done cold cases, but then a murder happens in the community, so then they're like, you know, solving it together. So cute. I love the story. I love the theme. Just the narrative, it was written in such a way that like, even though I was curious about what happened with the story, I just wasn't interested in turning the pages. And again, this was another book club pick. I'm in a lot of book clubs if you haven't noticed. I love the premise so much, but the storytelling just didn't have me. So there's a nice number 8 spot. I still enjoyed it. I don't know, maybe I give it like 6 stars out of 10. It was a fun time, but like, yeah. Number 7, we're finally moving into novels that I enjoyed. Number 7 is Britt-Marie Was Here, and that is a Fredrik Backman book, which if you don't know, Fredrik Backman is one of my favorite authors. I will never stop shamelessly plugging A Man Called Ove. But yeah, just so incredibly lovely. I will say this is a sequel. So the first book in this one is My Grandmother Told Me to Tell You She's Sorry. That was such a slow, painful read, and it's not necessary to read that one before reading Britt-Marie Was Here. Britt-Marie Was Here works as a complete standalone novel, and it's lovely and sweet, and I loved it so much that now I'm wondering if I should have reordered this a little bit differently. But big fan of Britt-Marie Was Here. I'm gonna give that one like 7 stars out of 10. I feel like it was just so cozy and comforting. Definitely a fantastic fall read, but also a great summer read. So, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, so wistful. It was one of my earlier summer reads. I think that was my first of summer reads. So it's been a little while, but so charming, so charming. Number 6, The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, which I feel like was one of the most anticipated reads of the summer. And it was very good. I loved it. I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't be like, it was the best book ever. But it was such a fun read. I feel like all of Emily Henry's books are so like summery and fun. Elements of family and self-discovery along with a budding romance. Definitely like some plot issues in the book, but like it was so lovely and charming that I didn't mind. I feel like this is a solid 7 out of 10 stars too. Number 5. So my husband and I have a fake book club where we alternate picking books and like reading them together. It's like a cute little thing that we do. We also have a book bet. So whoever reads more books in the year gets a prize. Ooh. Depending on like, you know, what our years look like can determine the size of the prize. So sometimes it can be like choosing our summer trip or something like that. But he just picked this. So I just finished this one and we're going through the Young James Bond series. So the first one in the book series is SilverFin, and it really reminds me of Alex Rider. I will say I like Alex Rider by Anthony Horowitz better, but this is still such a fun read. And I like there's like an eel thing, and so we went to a sushi restaurant and I was like, not today, not eating any eels for me today, that's a lot. But it was just like a fun, charming like kids novel that got really dark but so enjoyable. So highly recommend SilverFin. I feel like we're gonna stick to 7 out of 10 stars for this one too. Okay, number 4 is My Friends by Fredrik Backman. This was another like highly anticipated read, came out at the beginning of the summer. Had to buy it new if you wanted to read it. And I did the audiobook. The audiobook was lovely. I loved the narrators. So good. So good. Another Fredrik Backman, which again, can't say enough good things about Fredrik Backman. Also, like, this is so random, but one of my favorite things about Fredrik Backman novels is that he always calls the coffee pot the percolator, which I understand that like they're slightly different, not exactly the same thing, but it's just so charming and I just absolutely love it. Very cute novel about just like family hardship, friendships, chosen family, just so sweet, so good. I feel like 7.5 stars out of 10 is kind of where we land with this one. Number 3, and this one was super unexpected for me, is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. This was my very first Stephen King novel, and my husband recommended it to me as a joke. I was like, oh, I don't have anything to read, and he was like, you should read this one, and he picks it up and it's like a literal heifer of a book, 850 pages. I mean, huge. Not only that, the like typeface is very small, so there's a ton of words crammed onto the page. So many words. I loved it. It was another one of those that like grabbed me pretty instantly, which I really appreciate in a book. Like, if you're gonna get my attention, do it fast. I want to enjoy the whole read and not just the end of the book. And it did. I liked the first half of the book better than the second half, and I would just say that it is just, I don't know, just so lovely. I don't want to give it away, but it's about time travel a bit, and it's about this guy who has this opportunity to go back in time and change some things, but it's very Stephen King-esque. I thought it was funny because he references some of his stories. So he references like the town that it takes place in, which is just kind of funny, and I wouldn't have known it, but I told my mom to read it, and my mom loved it too, which is always funny to me, like when my mom and I are reading the same book. But yeah, definitely worth your time. A lot of people said it was like their favorite book ever, and I really don't think I would say that, but I did really enjoy it, and it was worth every page, which I don't always feel about books. But yeah, so fun. Really enjoyed that. Okay, the last 2 for me are very nostalgic books. Number 2 is Beastly, which I have read probably 15 times. It's an Alex Flinn book, very like teenage romance rom-com, but essentially it's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast modern day. And I don't always like the modern day retellings of stories, just because when you're messing with such a classic story, it's really easy to mess it up. But I just love this book because I feel like it inhabits all of the wonderful aspects of romance and love. Like there's a little romance section in 11/22/63 and it's written by a man and I can tell, and it's just not as charming to me. But Alex Flinn does such a good job of capturing emotions and feelings, the magic of Beauty and Beast, the nostalgia of the tale, the magic, the dreaminess, like all of it. I just love it so much. So that's taking my number 2 for the summer. Basically, easy 10 out of 10 stars. And my number 1 for the summer, can I get a drum roll please? My number 1 for the summer is Peter and the Starcatchers, which has always been one of my all-time favorite books. I chose it for me and my husband's book club this summer, and devastated, absolutely devastated to find out that they only have the first book on Audible. Like, what? They have the other ones, but like, because I'm in the USA, there's like some kind of a blockage, or I don't know. I'm gonna keep checking back because that is absolutely devastating. I was so excited to go through them all, and so sad to have that, you know, cut short, taken away, just like, I will just never stop loving that tale. If you're not familiar, it is a prequel to Peter Pan. So it just tells like the origin story of like how Peter got to Neverland and the people who formed him into who he is, where Tink comes from, the magic. I also love it because it doesn't deviate at all from the story of Peter Pan. So it truly keeps everything consistent. It doesn't change anything. There's no discrepancies. It doesn't change anything about the story of Peter Pan. It just gives you more insight into, you know, how he got there, which is just so lovely. I just dreamy, just like smiling ear to ear thinking about it. Peter and the Starcatcher, easy 10 out of 10 stars. There's so many other books that I've started reading this summer that are probably gonna make my fall TBR list, and I haven't had the chance to finish yet, or I'm just like literally forever and always reading 85 books at the same time. But very excited to continue reading, and maybe I'll make a fall TBR reading video. There is one book I'm already really excited about. One of the book clubs I'm in has chosen the final girl support group, and it's about how like in scary movies there's always like one girl who's like left over at the end, and so they like all have like a counseling group, I guess, like an AA meeting, but for, you know, girls who make it through horror movies, essentially. And then something happens and they start all going missing, and it's like, ooh, spooky. So I'm excited for that one. I'm also reading James, which I'm honestly, I'll be honest, I'm kind of bored with, but maybe I'm just not far enough in. I'm also reading some like non-fictions right now, but I anticipate that this will be a very cozy season. Also, my first winter in Chicago. Very curious to see how I do with the cold. I have a feeling I'm gonna be inside a lot, staring out my window and pretending like it's warm. So I think that there'll be a good mix of cozy, homey, but also probably some Somerset books so that I can pretend like it's warm when I'm freezing to death. But I am so excited to continue reading through the seasons with you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts if you've read any of these books, how you liked them, and if there's any that I absolutely need to add to my fall TBR. But I am so glad that you spent the last couple minutes with me, and I'll see you right back again here real soon. Bye.